What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 46, and we have a good card. It's a Calvin Kattar, Giga Chikadze. The card kind of fell apart, but we still have 10 fights, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm not going to complain at this point. We just went like a month without fights, so I'll take anything at this point. I was telling Uncle Weezy on Stat Diggers I'd take 15, say Jamie Pickett's versus Joseph Holmes. Like I'll take anything at this point as long as we have fights. I'm very happy. But yeah, it feels great to be back. Before we get started, if you guys can like the video, as always, subscribe here to DFS by the Numbers. I'll be going live tomorrow with Uncle Weezy, Narco Cop, and then Eric Betts fights for Best Bet. That is 1 hour prior to the prelims. My betting breakdown video will be out tomorrow morning as well. But I say we hit up the chat here. Octeris, Oi, yes, let's go. What is up? How you doing? Sean saying Giga's going to KO Kattar within 2 rounds. I don't care about the popular narrative of how many shots Kattar ate from Max. Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. It's going to be very tough to finish Kattar, but it could happen. Sean saying, let's go, Brady. Let's go, Sean. We got Kelly in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Octor saying, fun card, but tough to find comfortable betting spots this week. I agree. I don't have a ton of bets, but we'll talk about the ones I have. Chookagian looked like a ninja at weigh-ins. Did she? Didn't notice that. But yeah, I'm on Chookagian myself. It looks like a lot of people are on Chookagian. I definitely get why. Niles Land, let's go, let's go. Sean saying bet on Rosa. As bad as he sucks, he alternates wins and losses like we've never seen. Yeah. Do you know the exact number of fights? I think it's something crazy like 11 or 12 fights where he's alternating wins and losses. So yeah, that's nuts. We got Bill in the chat ready for another year of ass kicking as am I. Shout out to you, Bill, for hanging out. Voodoo in the chat. What's up, guys? Good luck with the bets. Good luck to you as well. Jay in the chat. What's cracking? We got PayPal. What is up, PayPal? Definitely a character in the Discord. Kattar will wreck some parlays this weekend. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I think we got through most of the chat. Again, if you guys can smash the like button, that'd be much appreciated. I do want to shout out the sponsor, Pub Sports Radio. I'm on over there a few times a week. Sunday with Uncle Weezy for Stat Diggers, Wednesday for the Draftkings show, and then sometimes on Saturday for Fight Day. All that good stuff. We got Jax in the chat. One of my very first supporters back in 2017, 2018. A long time ago. So shout out to you, Jackson. We got the General. Always nice seeing the General. But we have 10 fights to talk about. I say we get into them. And this is kind of out of order. The order is I started taping these fights late December. And the card as a whole has just changed so much. And the order as of recent has changed a lot as well. So it's a little bit messed up. But it doesn't really matter, to be honest. So we'll go with the first fight of the night. Kevin Croom going against Brian Kelleher. And yeah, so Kelleher was supposed to fight Kakhramonov. I was going with Kakhramonov in that fight. Wasn't going to bet it or nothing like that, but this is a completely different matchup. Kevin Croom is, kind of a killer be killed fighter. You can see it right there. This is a guy that he's been finished 8 times in his career, 4 by submission and 4 by knockout. We'll take a look at the finish rates as well. Croom has a 76% finish rate, whereas Kelleher has a 78% finish rate. So both guys can finish the fight, and both guys can be finished. They have a combined, my math's not great, but they have a combined 7 plus 8, that's 15. 15 combined losses inside the distance. So it's safe to say I'm probably looking at a violence bet here. And on top of that, we have Croom coming in on short notice. We saw in his last fight against Alex Caceres, the dude gassed out with in the first couple minutes. He's coming in on short notice here. I think he is live to finish Kelleher early. We saw him go in there and finish Roosevelt Roberts early. He is dangerous, very dangerous, whether it's on the feet or on the mat. But the cardio is what really concerns me for Kevin Croom here. So I really like the fight doesn't get a decision. I really like the under. It was something I was keeping my eye on the line, waiting for it to come out. And I was expecting minus 200. But no, they actually opened it up. I want to say they opened up the fight doesn't go on 5 dimes around minus 130. It's now minus 150. And then they opened up on Bet Online, the under 2.5 rounds at minus 115. I went to place the bet, and it was not there anymore, but I did get minus 125. So that's my first bet of the night, minus 125, the under 2.5 rounds. I have 1.25 units on it. To be honest, I think that's an absolute steal of a line. I know Brian Kelleher went to decision in his last fight. Maybe that's why, we're getting such a good line here, but, this is Kevin Croom. His cardio is very questionable in general, and then on top of that, he's stepping in on very, very, very short notice. So I think, it's Croom very early within the first couple minutes. If not, I think Kelleher finishes him maybe late first, early second, but it's really hard to see this fight getting extended. Both guys, again, very dangerous. both guys can be finished. So I really do like that under. As far as DraftKings goes, Kelleher is going to be the most high-owned DraftKings player on the entire slate. He's 7,500. He's the biggest favorite in the card, minus 300. One of the best inside the distance lines. I think it's the second or third best inside the distance line on the slate, and he's 7,500. So I have a ton of Brian Kelleher. I think I have around, I want to say 70% Kelleher, but I do have some Croom because, it's not, he very well could finish Kelleher early. Kelleher has been finished 7 times in his career. I just think, Kelleher is a very good play at 7,500. So the pick is Kelleher by finish. Kelleher inside the distance plus 125. That's interesting. Submission plus 210. That's interesting. But I took the under 2.5 to kind of cover both sides because Croom, he is, again, very dangerous early. So we'll see what happens. But I think that fight is going to be a banger as long as it lasts. Get Darkstroke. You don't win, you learn. What a fantastic read. Yep, wrote that article over the break. I liked that one. Glad you liked it as well. The stare down today gave me more confidence in Giga. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the stare downs. I was watching MMA Junkie's stream and it completely cut out. So I only got to see 3/4 of the stare down. So I need to go look at another stream there to see those stare offs. But yeah, Fight IQ. Yeah, you'll hear me a lot this year talking about Fight IQ. We'll talk even on this card about some guys with questionable Fight IQ. Something that has bit me a lot in the past. I'm not going to let that happen this year, hopefully. What is up, Chris? Finally, we are back. That layoff was brutal. It really was. Congrats on getting the website running during the time off, though. Yeah, I was putting in a lot of work, not just taping fights, but there's a lot of things I wanted to get done. I'm now on Apple Podcasts. That was something I wanted to do. I now have the website that I've been working on for almost 2 years at this point. So yeah, I got a lot done over the break. We got Daz in the chat. What is up, Daz? Nick Alexander taking notes as well. Tony, what's up, Brady? What is up, Tony? A sketchy card, but gotta Boom over Croom. Yeah, I think he finishes him. I don't think Croom's UFC caliber at all, really. Sometimes got to get the chalk and get different in other spots. That is very true. Rosa's going to sub Brown. He's only 68K, 6,800 on DraftKings. Yeah, we'll talk about that one. I like that call. Giga looked laser focused. Tajik, we got the GOAT in the chat. Shout out to Tajik. Uncle Weezy saying rough card to start the year, but hopefully we can make some money. Let's get it in 2022. Shout out to Uncle Weezy. I believe Uncle Weezy's like 5 or 6 subs away from 1K. So if you guys want to go help him out, go help out Uncle Weezy there. And Uncle Weezy will be on Best Bet tomorrow. Cannot wait for that show. Let's see what we got here. Adrian with the dono. Happy New Year, Brady. Happy New Year, Adrian. Hoping this year everyone joins the stream, makes 7 digits. Hey, I'll take 7 digits. I will definitely take that. Nicholas, make sure you all check out Clint's show today with Jeff Molina. A lot of glory fighters on this card. Good point. I saw that. I did not have time to watch it, but I will be watching that tonight. Shout out to Clint. All right, so I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm dehydrated. All right. So now we'll move on to the next fight. We have Borshev going against Dakota Bush. And it's we got a striker versus grappler. We have Borshev, who is the striker, and then Bush, who's the grappler. I think whoever is going to be able to implement their game plan is going to look like a pretty big favorite here. I disagree with the line a little bit. I think it should be a little bit closer because we have seen Borshev taken down several times. But with that said, he is training at Team Alpha Male. He is working on that takedown defense. I do expect improvements, but he has been taken down. And Bush is probably going to be one of the best, if not the best, pure grappler he has faced yet. Bush's grappling is very solid. He has a lot of finishes early in the first round. I've seen a couple knockouts on his record, multiple submissions that are early as well. So I think a Dakota Bush early submission is definitely possible. And I did see that submission on, I think it was FanDuel Sportsbook. It was sitting at plus 600. I did have some interest in that, but I'm going to pick Borshev to win. I think he's going to potentially knock out Bush. A very popular play this week is the under 2.5. Looks like everybody's on it, and the fight doesn't go. I like it. It's just, it's really hard laying that price on 2 fighters that have never been finished. But with that said, Dakota Bush has never faced a striker like Borshev. So I definitely think a finish is very viable. It's just not something I really want to put my money on personally, but I'm going to take Borshev to win, probably by knockout, but we'll see what happens there. Bush is very, very tough. As far as DraftKings goes, I really like this fight. There's only 2 9K fighters because we lost that one fight. So it's Giga Chikadze and Borshev. And yeah, I like both of those. I like both Giga and Borshev, but Borshev I like a lot. I think I have 40-something% of Borshev, but Dakota Bush, He has a path to victory. That path to victory is takedowns, possible submission. He is very dangerous, so we'll see what happens there. But the pick's Borshev. No bet on this one, but if I was forced to make a bet, it probably would be that under. I think it's sitting around like minus 150. But again, laying chalk on two fighters that have never been finished, I'm not overly confident in. So picks Borshev, though. Really looking forward to this fight. All right. Tajik saying he's going to match the dono. Shout out to Tajik, the GOAT. I'll match it. Best of luck tomorrow, everyone. Best of luck to you as well, Tajik. Go check out Tajik on Twitter, killing it with the Twitter spaces. Always a good time hanging out in there. Harry Bush scares me a little bit. Looked good today. Yeah, he looked pretty good. Man, Eileen Bush, big here. His tape is promising. Yeah, I mean, the path to victory is there. It really is there. So, yeah, I don't hate anybody taking a shot on Bush. I feel like the line should be closer. Let's start a dono train. Who is next? We'll see who's next. Adrian, I'm clueless on this fight. No idea who wins. What rational man doesn't love himself? Some Harry Bush. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know the XJC. Bush needs to end this within one round, or his chances to land a sub go down dramatically. I can agree with that. He has slowed down in the past, especially the Hubbard fight, but he did take that Hubbard fight on very short notice. So I don't think his gas tank's like that bad, though. Hope everyone kills it this year. Salty, I got in on Pickett early at plus 115. He's now plus 130. Yeah, I mean, little late, but I'm on Pickett as well. But I can't bet him, I don't think. We got Daz with the dono. Shout out to you, Daz. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the dono. We're going to keep it moving along. If y'all can smash the like button, that'd be much appreciated as always. All right. Charles Rosa going against TJ Brown. I saw, it was a couple days ago, the fight got announced and the odds were out like right away. It was weird, but I saw TJ Brown go all the way up to minus 300. And I was like, TJ Brown should not be minus 300 against anybody at all. This is a guy that he's had 3 fights in the UFC, and he has pulled 2 stunts in 3 fights. The first stunt was against Jordan Griffin, where he went out there, he took down Jordan Griffin 7 times, dominated him, and then he gets submitted, guillotine from side control, slows down a lot and gets guillotine from side control. Okay? I was like, yeah, that's not a good look. And then the next fight against Danny Chavez, I'm like, wow, TJ Brown looked really good up until getting submitted. He's going to go out here. He's going to take down Chavez at will. He's going to expose the ground game of Chavez. And what did TJ Brown do? He goes out there and tries to strike with TJ Brown for, it was like a round and a half. And then he finally goes and shoots a half-ass takedown and just loses a pretty dominant decision. And it was actually Chavez who was the one that took down TJ Brown 4 times in that 3rd round. So 2 sketchy moments. And then even in the Kai Kamaka fight, I had a bet on TJ Brown. I really thought he lost that fight. He got dropped in that fight. He showed some questionable fight IQ in that fight as well. I thought that he really should have implemented his takedown game a lot more than he did. So, yeah, I mean, stylistically, it's such an easy path to victory here for TJ Brown. One of his best friends, Bryce Mitchell, kind of laid out the game plan of how to beat Charles Rosa, and that's you just take him down and lay on him. But the thing is, TJ Brown is definitely not Bryce Mitchell. So this definitely scares me for TJ Brown. And what scares me the most is this dude is minus 230. I think that's even wide. But I got to pick him because the path to victory is so clear, and that's taking down Rosa. I want to bring up the stats. Charles Rosa has a 41% takedown defense. Charles Rosa is content to lay on his back and throw up submissions. So he's going to be losing minutes of this fight. So I got to pick TJ Brown, but Sean was saying in the chat, Rosa is very, very live, and especially for a submission as well. I mean, if you're getting submitted by, from side control, when you're in side control, that's not good. And on top of that, TJ Brown, yes, he's a black belt, but he's been submitted 3 times. So what I'm going to look at is, Charles Rosa by submission kind of sticks out, and it's sitting at plus 800, and that's kind of crazy because I kind of think that's Charles Rosa's path to victory is that submission, plus 800. On DraftKings, you've got to have a lot of TJ Brown because he's 7,100. He's the 2nd biggest favorite on the card, but I will have some Rosa. So I have a decent amount of Brown, but I definitely have a decent amount of Rosa. I think of 30% Rosa and around 50% Brown. I have a lot of this fight because I think the winner is going to score very well, but I just can't trust TJ Brown really at all. He's shown some very, very questionable fight IQ. See what you guys are saying in the chat. But yeah, that Rosa by sub, I don't have access to that. But yeah, I don't hate that. Let's go. I agree. I fade Harry Bush. Charles saying, how can I attract a woman to love me? I have no clue. Tyler saying, Slavaclaws, how can you bet against a guy with a nickname like that? I don't know. Like, who has the better nickname, Slavaclaws or Harry Bush? I kind of like the Harry Bush there. Did you bring up the train? I wanted to bet Pickett, but I just could not do it. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Rosa 0.8 units. I don't hate it, especially if you got Rosa whenever he was like +2, like 50, +260. Like that was nuts. Rosa alternates wins and losses like nothing we've ever seen. Wins here. So yeah, let's go back. So Charles Rosa. Wow, it's been a while. Like I might have to go to the Tapology because in the UFC he has alternated a win and loss his whole UFC career, which is a decent amount of fights. So all the way back to 2014. Since that, he's win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, and he's on pace for a win. So I mean, yeah, if you guys like that narrative, then there you go. Yep, Collier is a win-loss guy as well. Charles Rosa maintains Mr. 500 status with a win here. The pattern dictates it to be true. Yeah, the pattern is there. I like my women's bush clean shaven, Brady. I'm right there with you. And yeah, that's decent for sure. Yeah, his entire UFC career, like that's nuts. That is very nuts. Hype, you're late. All good, Hype. What is up? Doug Nasty saying a bet TJ kind of sus, but Rosa is coming in on about 3 days' notice, so definitely possible. Yeah, but even with Rosa coming in on short notice, I feel like his cardio is gonna be fine. I mean, but Brown's cardio is kind of the one that just concerned me. We saw him slow down in that Griffin fight and in that Chavez fight. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, I think Brown wins, but I'm not laying -200 on him. All right, move on to the next fight. We have Ramiz Brahimaj going against Court McGee. I do have a bet on this fight. I did post this bet on Instagram, by the way. Follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I'll be posting a couple bets on there throughout the week. And the bet that I do have, and this really stuck out to me, we have the decision only. This means that if there is any type of finish in this fight, you get your money back. It's a push. If Brahimaj wins a decision, the bet is a loss. If McGee wins a decision, the bet is a win. And I got that line at -150. And I feel like if this fight does go to decision, I feel like it should be a much wider line than -150. So I have 1.5 units on that. Again, if there's a finish, it pushes, you get your money back. If Brahimaj wins a decision, the bet loses. But this is kind of why I like that bet. Ramiz Brahimaj, in his career, this guy's a beast. I really like what I see out of this guy. Really good wrestling, really good grappling. He has finished all of his wins within the first round and a half. All but one of his wins are finished in the first round. When he does get to that second round, I really did not like what I saw. And I was going to potentially bet Brahimaj, but this is a guy that when he gets in that second round, he slows down a ton. His volume falls off a cliff, and he's somebody that's not high volume on the feet in general, but his volume falls off a cliff. The power, is not there. He slows down a lot. This is a guy that is 1-3 in fights that do reach the second round. So if he does not finish Court McGee, there's a very good chance that McGee can confidently win those rounds 2 and rounds 3. But Brahimaj is going to be very dangerous early, and that's why I kind of like that decision only because it covers if Brahimaj finishes Court McGee, it's a push. But yeah, Court McGee, he's been to decision. I want to say like the last finish Court McGee had was like 2012. It's been, I think, like maybe 2011. It's been like over 10 years since Court McGee has had a finish. I'd be really shocked if he did finish Brahimaj. Brahimaj is very tough. But, with that said, I just don't like what I see from him out of the first round. In the first round, this guy is an all-out beast. I just don't know if he can keep that pace up for 3 rounds. And for that reason, I do like Court McGee here. The line has completely flipped. I see Brahimaj on some books like -120. I see Court McGee now +105, +107. That's very tempting, but I already have that decision only bet. I'm going to stick with that. As far as DK goes, I didn't think I'd have much Court McGee, but MMA Monk on the Wednesday DFS show on Pub Sports brought up a good point that Court McGee in his wins, he averages over 90 DraftKings points, and that shocked me. I was like, what? Really? And I went and checked, and he does. He averages over 90 DraftKings points and wins. So I have some McGee. It's a 10-fight slate, but I do like Brahimaj on DraftKings as well because, again, Brahimaj has a 100% finish rate. All of his wins, but one coming in the first round. So Brahimaj is one of the more dogs that I like. So the picks, Court McGee, but Brahimaj very well could finish him early. But if not, I think, Brahimaj is going to slow down like he always does. And again, every time I've seen him outside of the first round, it hasn't looked good to me. So give me Court McGee for the win, and give me that decision only bet there. All right. Got the steal -150. Yeah, I mean, if Brahimaj wins his very first decision, I'll take my L. Derek saying 94 watching and only 30 likes. Hit that like button. I agree. Let's hit the like button. Appreciate that, DXJC. I'm not sure if it's still there. Brahimaj moneyline and KO +900 for a beautiful Kuwadi vacation. Yeah, Mr. X definitely very high on Brahimaj. I get it, but KO would be interesting. I mean, this guy, he has power. The volume's not there, but the power is there. But we'll see. It'd be the first time he ever KO'd anybody, so we'll see. I got Brahimaj 1 unit. Yeah, a lot of people are on Brahimaj. I was on the Court McGee Island last time he fought against Claudio Silva. I went back and looked at the Tapology picks for that. It was like 82% Claudio Silva. So it looks like I'm on the Court McGee Island once again. DXJC Courts hit the over 2.5 in 16 to 18 fights. It goes over a lot. Decision only McGee -150 is a steal. That's insane. I hope it looks like a steal. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, if Brahimaj wins his first decision ever, I'll take my L. But you got to take advantage of spots like that. Samuel, what's the Brady UFC finally back? I'm hyped. Hopefully we can all make some money this year. What is up, Samuel? I agree. Hopefully we do. And hopefully it starts here on a card that is pretty sketchy, but there are some solid spots. Rosa due for a win against the guy with low fight IQ. Interesting. Yeah, I don't hate Rosa. I really don't. Brahimaj kind of reminds me of Minner, first round sub or bust. Yeah, I mean, like go watch his fights that have left the first round, and especially fights that he's wrestled. Like it's not a good look at all. Mixer X saying Brahimaj's cardio problems are overblown. He went 3 hard rounds with Max Griffin, but he didn't wrestle in that fight. That was the first fight ever that he didn't wrestle. So yes, his cardio looked better, but that was one of the most questionable game plans I've ever seen in my life. Brahimaj said he's going to stand and bang so he doesn't gas. He said that? Okay, if he stands and bangs with Court McGee, I like McGee's striking a lot better than his. Brahimaj will pass Court's gatekeeping. He could. I'm on McGee by decision +200 for 0.5 units. Yeah, if I would have saw that, I would have been on there as well. Yeah, people really don't like Court. People hate him. How do you do remise by sub and Court McGee decision at the same time at the same bet? Probably had to be 2 different bets, right? But yeah, Uncle Weezy, that's a great line. I don't know if it's still there, but yeah, +200. I think it was on FanDuel Sportsbook, 0.5 units. Everywhere else is like +150, +140. But yeah, definitely on a little bit of an island on Court. People hate him, but we'll see what happens there. Okay, so we have the next fight. We have Joseph Holmes going against Jamie Pickett. Yeah, this line is probably the most ridiculous line on the entire card. I think people are just looking at this fight and saying Jamie Pickett sucks. Kind of like Court McGee. Jamie Pickett sucks, and he does. But you can't fade a bad fighter with a bad fighter. And Joseph Holmes, he's young. He's 26 years old. He's the tallest fighter in the middleweight division. I think he's tied with Israel Adesanya, 6'4". So, he has the physical tools, but this is a guy that, is very low volume. He's fought nobody. His best win is Jonathan Patty. And that's Jamie Pickett knocked him out as well. But, this is a very close fight. I feel like this is probably one of the most boring fights on the card. I kind of feel like Chookagian Maia is going to be more exciting than this one. I want to bet Pickett very bad, but then again, I don't. And on top of that, I already missed the line. It was at +135 a couple of days ago. It's now it's +120. So some money is coming in on Pickett, but I just don't really want to touch this fight, to be honest. As far as DK goes, Holmes is interesting, I guess, because he has a 100% finish rate. He's never won by decision, but he's finishing, very low-level guys. Again, the best guy that Joseph Holmes has fought was Jonathan Patty. So I'm going to pick Pickett to win. Probably a boring decision, but it's hard to be confident in either of these guys. But I'll tell you what, I'm not laying chalk on Joseph Holmes. I think that is, the most ridiculous line on the card. But yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. See what we got in the chat here. See what we got in the chat. People are really critical on this kid for losing his first fight in the UFC as a top It's just, I'm very high on Brian. It's just the way he lost. I mean, go for some takedowns. McGee is a beast. Stop hating. Won a season on tough and still on the roster. Yeah, people hate him a lot. Royval looked like a baby after his shoulder popped out. I don't like this line. 1-800 gambler kind of fight. I totally agree. Let's see here. Pickett looked in great shape going to. Yeah, he did look in really good shape. He looked in the better shape for sure. My boy G, the mattress guy, is also on Pickett. I'm not. I know Prodigy. Somebody in the Discord is on Pickett pretty heavy, but that's his boy. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't really want to bet on a fight like this. Pickett has 0 fight IQ and no genuine MMA ability. I can't disagree with that. This will be the only time I ever bet Pickett. If you want to bet him, this is probably the only time. Ugly man, gonna get that stuff. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think so. Jimmy Pickett actually is a brown belt. Maybe not a good brown belt, but his grappling is serviceable. But no strong confidence on this fight. All right, so we're going to continue on to the next fight. Who is your favorite underdog? We'll talk about him soon. Once I need a drink. All right. Moving on. We have Joe Anderson Brito going against Bill Algeo. I thought for sure I'd be betting Joe Anderson Brito, but I do have some slight concerns. And those slight concerns is, sometimes in his fights, his cardio looks really good and he has some late finishes. But sometimes in his fights, his cardio looks, pretty questionable. And this is a fight where I feel like Algeo is going to make Brito work here and work a lot. So Algeo on paper, his takedown defense is horrendous. And Brito's a really strong wrestler, a very strong guy in general, very powerful as well. Algeo's striking defense is very questionable. But if Brito does choose to use his ground game, if he does choose to go for takedowns here, Algeo has shown an elite get-up game, a very, very good get-up game. So yes, he's getting taken down, but he is popping right back up. And my concern is if Brito does implement a wrestling heavy game plan and Algeo is able to pop back up each and every time, that's going to be very taxing on the gas tank of Brito. So that's a concern. But on the feet, I like the power of Brito. I like, how hittable Algeo is. I think Brito's could potentially hurt Algeo at times. But I actually like the length, the size of Bill Algeo, the volume that Algeo brings as well. It's a very, very close fight. Very close fight. I'm going to pick Brito to win. I think he's going to have the bigger moments on the feet. And I think, takedowns are going to be there all day. It's just, if this fight does get extended, which I do think it does, maybe it does get sketchy late if Brito's gas tank does not hold up. But I'm going to take Brito to win. No bet for me. Brito on DraftKings is probably one of my favorite upside plays because if Brito wins, you got to imagine he's going to shoot a bunch of takedowns and he's going to get them. I mean, Algeo has like no takedown defense. And on top of that, he has a very good get-up game. So I think the takedowns are going to come, and I think there's going to be a lot of them in a win. But again, the gas tank is my only concern there for Brito. But I'll take Brito to win, and I do like him on DraftKings. No bet for me, but I will pick him. All right. We got MMA Monk. Shout out to Monk. He was on the DraftKings show Wednesday. Go check out Monk doing a lot of great content. We got Bobby Boucher in the chat. Brady Weirback. What is up, Bobby? Excuse me. Pickett, more athletic if that counts. Yes, he is. I just don't think Pickett will be better of the striking. So what's he going to do? If Pickett let his hands go, I absolutely think he's the better striker. Like when Pickett lets his hands go, he's very good. The problem is he doesn't at all. We got Eric Betts fights. Tune in tomorrow. Check out Eric Betts fights on Best Bet, and also go check out Eric's channel as well. He's putting out some great content. New guy in the game, very nice guy as well. Another fade. Yeah, I got it as well. I'm gonna fade it as well. Brito is an easy win this week. Couldn't pass it up. It could look easy. I just think that Algeo is really going to make him work. I took Brito by finish 275. Yeah, don't hate that. I bet Brito money line at 2 and via finish. Yeah, I think there's a good chance he finishes. Algeo round 3. Yep, if Brito does slow down, Algeo round 3 could be a look. Brady speaking the truth, Algeo has the 6th best get up time of the division. Wow, like that's very impressive, and you can see it. You can see it in the tape. Like this guy, if you take him down, he's getting back up. And again, that's my only concern. But I will pick Brito to win. We'll see what happens. Next fight, we have Jake Collier versus Chase Sherman. Apparently, this is the co-main event for some reason. which could possibly be the worst co-main event in UFC history. I cannot think of a close second. I really can't. Yeah, this has to be the worst, right? The worst co-main event in UFC history. I know Eric Betts Fights is in the chat. He's been watching MMA like since the 90s. Eric, have you ever seen a worse co-main event than than Jake Collier, Chase Sherman? If you have, I'd be very impressed. I don't want to go crazy with my bets after no UFC for a while. Going to be later day for me. It's going to be a very light day for me. As long as Sherman shaves some ass, it'll be a good week for me. I'm not high on fat. Collier. Yep, Wheezy has Chase Sherman as his ass shaving of the week. I like it. What's up, Brady? G, thanks for all the work. Thank you, Dom, for hanging out. I can't believe I'm invested in Chase Sherman. I'm right there with you. But yeah, I do have a bet on this fight. And the bet is a quarter unit on Chase Sherman by knockout. I only win a quarter unit because it's Chase Sherman, but we got to take a look at this guy's numbers. A 93% finish rate for Chase Sherman. So that means he has finished all but one of his wins, and they're all by knockout. Jake Collier, I really question his durability. He's been knocked out 3 times, twice, I believe, at middleweight, once at heavyweight. I think that Chase Sherman's going to be the harder hitter. I actually agree with the line. I think Collier should be probably a slight favorite because he is going to be winning the minutes. Chase Sherman is a walking punching bag. Everything that Collier throws is going to land more than likely. So I think if this does get extended, if it does go to decision, Collier wins. But I just see Sherman knocking out Jake Collier and probably early as well. So I put a quarter unit, Sherman by knockout, plus 310. Didn't want to go crazy on it because, again, it's Chase Sherman, but I really feel like he has a good opportunity here to knock out Jake Collier. And like Uncle Weezy says, shave some ass. But if you're on Collier, I can't deny it. I mean, I think he's going to be winning the minutes of this fight. And if you like Collier, probably bet him by decision as well. Let's see here. Who's your pick for the most handsome fighter between Chook, the Twitter creep, and Maia? Probably Chook could be more handsome. I like the violence bet. You like the violence bet in Collier Sherman? I mean, it's a heavyweight fight, and you're getting it plus money, which is pretty weird. So, yeah, I don't hate that. Since he's been off the juice, he sucks. Yeah, he's not great. Even like on the juice, he wasn't too great to begin with. At least Collier and Sherman are going to let those hands go. Definitely will. I also do the no distance prop at plus 115. I don't hate that. I'm oddly confident in Collier. Should I get checked out? Potentially, but if he does not get knocked out, I think he wins. Half unit on Collier. The main event at UFC 26 was Tyron Roberts versus David Dodd. There we go. Well, there we go. So that's apparently the worst. So I'll have to go back and potentially watch that one sometime. Oh, man, there you go. Sherman by KO plus 300. Yeah, I'm on that with you as well. Sherman by stoppage. If it's a co-main event, there's extra pressure for a finish from Dana. Could be. Can't trust either side. Yeah, you really can't at all. Who's Kevin Croom? He's an exciting fighter, but probably not UFC caliber. I like your pick of Collier by points or Sherman by stoppage. It's kind of how I play it as well. After the fights, you'll come away saying Collier was just a better fighter. That could be. Yeah, if Collier does not get knocked out, I do expect him to win, but I personally think he does get knocked out. All right. So we'll move on. We have Brandon Royval going against Rogerio Bontorin. And yeah, so I really like what I saw from Royval in the tape. Going back, his striking impressed me a lot. This is a guy that's very long. He's very big for the division. And he throws a ton of volume, and he mixes it up very well. He's very dangerous with everything he throws. And we've seen it in a lot of his fights where, it doesn't look like he's landing hard, but he's hurting opponents. And then on top of that, he's a legit black belt in BJJ. I know he just got submitted, and a lot of people are kind of crapping on his ground game because he got out-grappled by one of the best guys in the division, in Alexander Pantoja, got submitted by him. I'll tell you right now, Rogerio Bontorin is not Alexander Pantoja. Rogerio Bontorin is not Brandon Moreno. Bontorin, he's a very powerful guy. He's a good wrestler. He's a black belt as well, but he's very low volume. I give the volume advantage to Royval quite a bit. He's going to be at a height and a reach disadvantage as well. And then on top of that, the cardio is what concerns me the most about Bontorin, especially in a fight like this. And we've seen this guy miss weight multiple times, and especially in his last fight against Channell, he missed weight at 135. So you got to imagine that weight cut is going to be tough for him. So, not a lot of guys in the division can keep up with Brandon Royval's pace. We've seen it in multiple fights. We saw in the Elliott fight. Elliott, somebody that typically has really good cardio, gassed out in the second round. We saw Pantoja, who was on his way to looking very, very tired in that second round, got the sub. But I just don't think that Bontorin is going to be able to keep up the pace of Brandon Royval here. I have a bet on this fight. The bet is Brandon Royval inside the distance. I have a half unit on it, and I got that at plus 110. The reason why I did not go with or plus 105, my bad. The reason why I did not go with the money line here is there are some things I don't like out of Royval. A couple of those being he is very, very hittable. We'll take a look at his striking defense. So his striking defense is sitting at 46%. But with that said, look at Bontorin is sitting at 43%. But that's one thing I did not like about Brandon Royval was the striking defense. And then the other thing I did not like was the takedown defense. His takedown defense is sitting at 52%. So I feel like Bontorin, if he wants takedowns, they will be there. It's just, Brandon Royval is going to make you work. He's going to be throwing up submissions nonstop. He's going to be looking for sweeps, reversals. He's going to be working his way up to his feet. And I just don't know if Bontorin is going to be able to keep up that pace for 3 rounds. So I took Brandon Royval, half a unit, inside the distance, plus 105. Brandon Royval has finished, I think, all but one of his fights. 92% finish rate. I think he breaks Bontorin the later the fight goes and gets a second or third round finish. So give me Brandon Royval for the win. I like this fight on DraftKings a lot. I think, both guys are in play. Brandon Royval, 800. It's a Brandon Royval fight. It's minus 210. Fight doesn't go, which is the best inside the distance line on the slate. I think someone's getting finished here, and I think Brandon Royval is going to finish Bontorin. But on DraftKings, Bontorin at 7,400 is not a good look, or not a bad look there. So, but I really do like Bontorin in this fight. I think people are off him a lot because he's on a 2-fight skid, but you got to look at who he's losing against. This dude's losing to Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja, both really legit guys. And before that, like, people were all over Royval. Like, this guy was the next big thing. Now people are saying like his grappling sucks, and it doesn't. This guy's a legit black belt. Just got caught by Pantoja. It happens. Royval feels super public to me for some reason. I think he wins, but Bontorin isn't a bad bet in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I'm personally going the other way. I have a lot of confidence in Royval, but I can see why somebody would like Bontorin. Royval's striking defense and takedown defense. There's definitely a path to victory for Bontorin, but I just don't think he can keep up with that pace is all. I can see Royval hurting Bontorin with a knee as he shoots a takedown. Could be. Who's Bontorin? I got Royval club and sub. His striking is nice and light. Yeah, striking is really good. I got a Royval Brito parlay. I think that hits. Everyone on Royval, but the line isn't moving. I see a lot of people on Bontorin, actually. How did Bonter Chin look at the weigh-ins? He looked good. He made weight, which is weird. He made weight at 125, no problem, but he missed the weight at 135. Weird. Faded the fight. Hopefully not in DraftKings. Had Rosa been training? Looks like it. Looks like he's been training. I'm thinking both replacements lose. Probably, but, Rosa would be the one I'd look at. Bonter made weight, but looked terrible and out of it. Yeah, looked a little sucked out. Royval, decision, and Bontorin, sub. Royval's not a decision guy. I don't know. Hot take, Bontorin wins by decision. Yeah, it makes sense. I think Bontorin probably is going to be the minute winner. Maybe he could take down Royval and get win minutes on top, but I don't know if his cardio can keep up there. See if I missed anything here. I don't think it looked great, to be honest. Bonter Chin. I like that. I like that a lot. But we have 143 in you in here. If y'all can smash a like button, that'd be much appreciated. I'll be going live tomorrow, 1 hour prior to the prelims. I think the prelims start at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. At me, Eric Bets Fights, Narco Cop MMA, and Uncle Weezy will be doing best bet. Looking forward to the very first best bet of the year. And then my betting breakdown video will be out early tomorrow morning. Gonna hop off here in a little bit and record that. But we have 2 fights left. Appreciate that, Monk, for smashing the like. Really do appreciate that a lot. Mystic Sosa versus Jack Attack, the real main event. There you go. But we have Chookagian versus Jennifer Maia, which was originally, for a little bit, it was going to be the co-main event, but they thought it'd be a good idea to put Collier Sherman as the co-main event. But yeah, Chookagian, Jennifer Maia, this line is getting pretty nuts. I mean, I saw Chookagian at like minus 190, and I get that she's gonna win this fight more than likely. But going back and watching the first fight, I thought it was kind of close, and I thought Jennifer Maia won that third round. And, my thinking is if Jennifer Maia was to fight smart for the very first time in her entire career, this is such a winnable fight that it's crazy. The problem with that is Jennifer Maia, in her 7 UFC fights, she has attempted 4 takedowns and gotten 2 of them. So I don't hate the shot on Jennifer Maia. I really don't, because I think the striking exchanges, yes, Chookagian's going to be winning them, but it's not going to, she's not going to go out there and dominate Jennifer Maia. She's not dominated anybody in the UFC. So I think it'll be a close-ish fight. And I don't love the minus 180, minus 190, but what I do like is Chookagian by decision a lot more. Chookagian, 0 finishes in the UFC. I think she set a record for the amount of like decisions in a row, which is, I think it was 10 or 11. It was a lot of decisions in a row for Katlyn Chookagian. But regardless, she does not finish anybody. We'll take a look at her finish rate. Her finish rate in her career is sitting at 19%, which is the worst in the card. So I do like the decision a lot more. I would be shocked. She's not going to submit Jennifer Maia, and her tennis noises aren't going to finish anybody. So if you like Chookagian, might as well get the decision, right? And that's what I did. I got Katlyn Chookagian by decision. I wasn't going to bet it because I did see on some books it was minus 150. I saw minus 130, but I saw on FanDuel Sportsbook it was minus 110. So I hopped on that for half a unit. Katlyn Chookagian by decision. I think it looks a lot like the last fight. Very boring. But I think she does enough and makes enough sounds to win a pretty comfortable decision. But if Maia fights smart, Maia probably wins. It's just she's never fought smart in her career. So Caitlin, yeah. Okay, I like that. Val Better, I also create content. All right, yeah, I'll check you out, Val Better. I'll check you out. One of the takedowns was on Chookagian. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, lots of that. Faded a bet again here. Yeah, hey, can't blame you there. If Chook wins a decision, she will have won 10 UFC fights in total by decision. Wow. Yeah, so there you go. If she wins against Maia by decision, yep, there you go. No finishes. That's crazy. Caitlin of the Ya Sisterhood. Definitely. Lots of that. And we're in the Apex, so we're going to hear every yeah. So that should be fun. But I think Caitlin Chookagian gets it done. All right. Main event time. We have Giga Chikadze going against Calvin Kattar. Me and Uncle Weezy did a main event deep dive on Monday. If you have not checked that out, go check that out. We talked through pretty much every single angle of this fight. And if you guys know me, you guys know that I'm the biggest Giga hater out there. And I'm picking him to win. I hate the line, but I am picking Giga to win here. He's at minus 225. If I saw this line like a year ago, I would be completely shocked. But Giga Chikadze is making so many improvements. It's crazy. Going back throughout his career. So you take a look at Giga Chikadze on the Contender Series. The dude gasses out in the 3rd round, gets submitted by Austin Springer. After that, he makes his UFC debut against Brandon Davis. He wins a split decision, very close decision. He loses the 3rd round. He's tired in the 3rd round. He wins, but it's ugly. Against Jamal Emmers, I thought he lost. I still, to this day, thought Jamal Emmers clearly won the fight. Although Emmers did come in there with the most questionable game plan I've ever seen, not taking down Giga when the takedowns were clearly there. I still thought Emmers did enough to win. Emmers outstrikes Giga 54-38, takes him down twice, and Giga's gassed in the 3rd round. Against Erwin Rivera, Giga wins against a very small Erwin Rivera, but even in the 3rd round, Giga's slowing down a little bit. This was the fight where I kind of changed my tune a little bit for Giga against Omar Morales. That was the best I've ever seen him look in that 3rd round. He knocks down Omar Morales in that 3rd round and is very, very close to finishing him. Then he goes down there, knocking out Jamie Simmons in the 1st round as expected, knocking out Cub Swanson. And then he finishes Edson Barbosa in the 3rd round as well. So you're just seeing a lot of improvements in the cardio of Giga Chikadze. You're seeing improvements in the takedown defense. You're seeing improvements in the ground game. So yes, he's improving at a rapid rate, and he's training at a good camp as well. So this is a fight where, I think Giga's going to win. It's just if this fight gets into that 3rd round, if it gets into the 4th round, if it gets into the 5th round, I do not want to be laying minus 225, 230 on Giga. If this reaches the 4th round, Giga's never been to a 4th round, and that's terrifying considering we saw him gas out in the Springer fight, in the Davis fight, in the Emmers fight, a little bit in the Rivera fight. So I'd be very scared if I had a bet on Giga at that price tag. Could he finish Calvin Kattar early? I don't think so. A lot of people do. PayPal brought up a very funny stat. All they've been hearing this week is about, Giga's going to finish Cater to the body. And PayPal brought it up. It was like a combined, like over 50 or 60 like kickboxing fights. Giga has only finished like 3 or 4 guys with the Giga kick to the body. Um, and you look back at it, like it'd be crazy. Like if he finished Cater, but did not finish Austin Springer, Brandon Davis, Erwin Rivera, that'd be very impressive because Cater is one of the toughest guys in the division. This guy can take an absolute beating. We saw in the Holloway fight. This guy has absorbed almost 1,000 strikes. He's never been knocked down. So I think, Cater's durability is going to take him later in this fight. But I do think Giga is going to at least win those first 3. So I'm kind of thinking Giga by decision. If it does get to that 4th and 5th round, Cater is probably going to be very live to maybe get a late finish. But the bet I do have in this fight is going to be the fight starts round 3. I got it at -176. This is my very first bet of 2022, and I have 2 units on it. So that's my biggest bet of the night. The fight starts round 3. I really don't care who wins. I'm actually going to root for Giga to win because I would love to fade this guy against like a Volkanovski, against a Max Hall. I would love to fade him. Love to. So I'm probably going to be rooting for Giga to win this fight so I can get a good line in his next fight. But I think he wins this. And by decision. By decision. If he finishes Cater, I'll be very impressed. Very, very impressed. But we'll see what happens. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Then we'll head out of here. Cater round 3, round 4 is plus 1,100. Yeah, Uncle Weezy was talking about it on the Monday show on the deep dive that the 3, 4, and 5 for Cater is interesting, and I think it is as well. Giga fought Jamie Simmons, who doesn't belong in the big time, fought a 5'6" Erwin Rivera and a gimme matchup. Yeah, PayPal also brought up this very funny stat that in all of Giga's finishes, to the body with the Giga kick, the 3, 4 we talked about, all the guys he did finish with that Giga kick were like 5'8". So Calvin Cater's 5'11". So we'll see. I'd be surprised if he finished Calvin Cater, but we'll see what happens. Could be a card with a 100% finish rate. Has it ever happened before? Not to my knowledge. I know we've been really close before though. A unit on Cater, but I'm not much faith in it. I don't hate anybody taking a shot on Cater. I really don't. I'm so tempted by everybody's Cater propaganda with the plus money. I don't hate it. I can't do it myself, but I don't hate it. I just need the fight to get to round 3, and I'll be happy. When you look up Boston Strong in the dictionary, it's just a picture of Calvin Cater. There you go. Seems very trendy that Cater does well here. Everyone underestimating Giga. Really? You think they're underestimating Giga? He's like the second biggest favorite in the card. I think they're probably overestimating him. LO, he is getting bet down the whole month. How is he getting underestimated? Yeah, exactly. Like he's a big favorite. Random. I keep hearing people on Cater like Pete the Heat from Awesemo. Yeah, a lot of people are on Giga though. Like even I'm on Giga, and I'm the biggest Giga hater out there, and I'm picking him. So yeah, I don't think he's getting overlooked or underlooked. JBS Media, what's up, Brady brother? Keen for tomorrow is an understay. Hey, appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited as well. Turns out Giga kick only hits the liver if you're 5. That's apparently. So shout out to PayPal for that stat. I thought that was hilarious. Giga's gonna find a finish. Hard to look at a different outcome, regardless if Cater's never been finished. We'll see. I mean, I don't think so, but we'll see what happens there. If Cater uses clinch and stays inside Giga's kick range, you like his chances. I just need him to get to that 4th and 5th round, and then I'll like his chances. But early on, I really don't. I'm going to sleep on it and see how Cater line looks tomorrow. I mean, they can talk as much as they want, but money talks in this industry, so the line tells the truth about the general sentiment. Yeah, I don't see a ton of people on Cater, to be honest. All right, so we'll move on to the next fight. Wait, that's it. That is it. All right. Random. Yeah, for Draftkings, yeah, I get it. Cater, he's 6,900. I get that. I get it. But as far as betting goes, I like Giga, but Draftkings is a whole other story because Cater is 6,900. So we'll see what happens there. I'll quickly go over my bets. I'll be doing my betting breakdown video tomorrow, but keeping it short and sweet this week. I don't want to get involved with really any money lines. I feel like a lot of these fights can go either way. My biggest bet of the night is Calvin Kattar, Giga Chikadze. Fight starts round 3, minus 176, 2 units. My second biggest play is the Court McGee decision only. Again, if there's a finish in the fight, the bet pushes, you get your money back. If Brahimaj wins a decision for the first time, it loses. And if McGee wins by decision, it wins 1.5 units, minus 150. My third biggest bet is Kelleher Croom under 2.5 rounds, minus 125, 1.25 units. I expect that line to get smacked by the time fight starts, to be honest. And then Chookagian by decision, half a unit, minus 110. Royval inside the distance, half a unit, plus 105. And then Sherman wins by KO, quarter unit, plus 310. Those are my bets, short and sweet, keeping it small. But that's all I got for this week, and I don't see myself adding really anything. All right, so that's about it. I do want to shout out the sponsor one more time, Pub Sports Radio. Get over there. The guys will be going live Saturday, breaking down all the fights, live commentary, live betting. Always a great time on there. That Cattar round 3 and round 4 really got my attention. Yeah, round 3, 4, 5 for Cattar is, interesting. Is Bovada running UFC bets? Couldn't find anything. Yes, they are, and they actually have a decent amount of props out, which is not really like Bovada, but they do. Starting the year off with 3 iffy parlays and a KO prop, either a genius or a fool. Gonna find out. Well, best of luck to you, Steven. Hopefully you make some money there. John saying you really bet Chookagian. Yep, half a unit by decision. Not getting too invested. I'm not touching the money line at minus 190. I'll tell you that. Good luck to you as well, Random. Hey, yeah, can't wait for that. Appreciate that, Sean. Best of luck to you and your Draftkings and your betting as well. Good luck, Jeff. Yeah, I cannot wait. All right, we'll see you later. Best of luck. And yeah, let's make some money. All right, see you guys.